Stay tuned. We will start the Boss Health Matters podcast shortly. Please go and like, share, and subscribe to help us reach more people. If you have any questions or answer, you can text or call 1-855-NOW-BOSS, 1-855-669-2677.
We're opening up the phone lines. Let's see who's on the other end.
Thank you for calling. Please hold for the next available representative.
We're opening up the phone lines. Let's see who's on the other end.
Thank you for calling. Please hold for the next available representative.
Stay tuned. We will start the Boss Health Matters podcast shortly. Please go and like, share, and subscribe to help us reach more people. If you have any questions or answer, you can text or call 1-855-NOW-BOSS, 1-855-669-2677.
This is the Boss Health Matters podcast, where the body is the boardroom, the soul runs the company, and the divine is the CEO. We don't guess, we detect and correct. You're tuned into the Boss Health Matters podcast. Hey there, guys. I'm the Quantum Health Boss. The body is the boardroom, the soul runs the company, and the divine should be the CEO. If we don't manage the body, somebody else will, and they'll just bill us for it. If the divine has brought you into this space, it's because he needs you to hear this message. We're not here by accident. This space is where confused minds get clarity and excuses come here to die. We just don't guess about health. Here, we detect and correct it. The body isn't broken, it's just broadcasting. So, stop running to medicine when really what's needed is we need to fire the current management and hire divine management. And I'm going to be here to keep on bringing on guests to actually show you what you need to do to get there. But if you have any questions, we are live. You can call 1-855-NOW-BOSS. That's 1-855-669-2677. Today, our guest is Victoria Burmeister. I think she's going to tell her story for herself, but at 19 years old, she had a tragic accident, and the doctors told her that she would never move again, but God had other plans. Hey, Victoria, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
I'd love to hear more about your story, so why don't you just start it off from the beginning?
Okay, well, as you said, I was 19 when I bought my first car, and I started having problems with it the minute I drove it off the lot. And I remember it was a Friday night, and I was driving it home, and that was about 20 miles away. So when I got there, I had my boyfriend back then take a look at it to make sure everything looked okay, and he didn't adjust anything. He just looked at it and said it was fine. I just needed to get used to it. So it was like that throughout the week, and it was another Friday, well, the following week, and we were going to go back into town to go cruising. So I left about 5 minutes before he did, and I was going into a 25-mile-an-hour corner, and I went to downshift, and it wouldn't take second. I tried again, still wouldn't go. I tried third, and it was like stuck in neutral. So I ended up hitting the gravel that was on the side of the road, and then I hit a tree. And the whiplash motion broke my neck. The third vertebrae slid over the fourth, taking the spinal cord with it. The higher you damage your spinal cord, the more damage gets done to the body. Doctors said that I wouldn't move below the level of injury. And C3, C4 is pretty high up in your neck. And being an incomplete quad, well, the spinal cord wasn't completely severed. So would it leave room for return? Possibly. Was it, thought of in the doctor's eye? Not really, because of how high the level of injury was. So back then in '87, which my anniversary is on the 17th of October, and it'll be 37 years. And I almost forgot about it actually until I was talking about it with someone else. But back then, you didn't hear a lot about high level spinal cord injuries because a lot of them didn't make it. They would succumb to respiratory issues, being on a ventilator, and things like that. And by the grace of God, I did not have to be on any of that. And doctors would see me and they were like, "Oh, you didn't have a trach because there was no scar." And I'm like, "No." "You didn't have any breathing problems?" "No." And they're just like, "Are you sure you're a quad because you're moving your hands? You're moving your arms." And I have use of my biceps, triceps are weak, but I'm not able to use my fingers because of the damage that's done to the spinal cord. But I have feeling and sensation all the way to my toes. And they tell me or ask me a lot of the time, "How do you know that it hurts? Or how do you feel that?" I'm like, "Because I feel it. Nobody told me." So sometimes I'm a medical mystery, I guess.
Wow. So, what kind of car was it that you bought?
An 81 Citation X11.
Say that one. Say one more time.
81 Citation X11. It was
Nissan.
this, huh?
You said Nissan.
81 Citation X11.
Citation. I never heard of that kind of car before. It's
Well,
like
you're younger, so you
something. It's like
probably
something from China or something.
know. It was the sporty edition of the Citation.
Oh, a citation.
Hmm.
Okay, okay. What was the moment that you realized that you know you wanted more?
That I wanted more. Um, Probably when the doctor said, "Let's watch her and see if anything happens." Because when they were bathing me, I felt behind my ankle, and that's way below the level of injury. So I would say that's when I wanted more.
When was because the story that I have is that God has different plans for you, and you're even though we're looking at you and you're sitting in that wheelchair right now, you're not in that wheelchair because you're trailblazing and you're doing things. I just want to know when was that moment that you says, "I'm not staying in this wheelchair anymore and I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to tell my story."
What was the moment when?
Exact moment that you realize I'm not just gonna stay in this wheelchair anymore and not tell my story.
When they told me I couldn't, I showed them that I could.
Oh,
And it didn't matter what it was.
yeah.
The worst thing you could do was tell me even before the accident, oh, can't do that. I'm like, oh yeah, watch me. And that never left me.
Do you have any trauma still related from the accident?
When I would drive, because the last time I drove was 9 years ago when I had my vehicle, um, going into a corner like that, it would flash back and I would go very, very slow and people would honk at me and get mad all the time. But I'm like, it's better I go slow and be careful than go fast and cause another accident.
I would say, from what you told me, it would be a good thing for people to actually get their car safety and properly checked after they buy it, because anything could happen.
Well, what happened was I didn't know that General Motors had problems with their shifter fork. They were using faulty metals in the second gear shifter fork, and the car had three previous owners, and they all had the same problem with the shifter fork. So they would get it fixed. Still, the problem, was there. They would just trade it in. Well,
How
I
did how
didn't
did you
know that.
how did you find out this information?
Well, because we had an attorney friend, and I told him, because he came to see me in the hospital, and I told him what had happened. And he goes, really? Where is your car? And I said, I think it's at, the lot by Richard's dad's house. He goes, I think we're going to take a look at your car. And that's all it took.
Wow.
So, timing, that's all it was.
So I definitely, it's got to be God's timing how everything came together with that investigation, and the owners, you actually found them and they were actually forthcoming. I guess
Well,
the manufacturer wasn't as forthcoming.
no, and we did an 8 hour long deposition at my attorney's office. And mind you, I had an attorney for General Motors, I had an attorney for personal injury, and I had an attorney for the car dealership, Valley Chevrolet, that sold me the car. So I had three different law firms. But when we depositioned General Motors, it was 8 hours, and they had the audacity to actually say that they would trust their family members to be safe in the car. I was like, how can you say that looking at me?
Yeah, that's like, that's wild. Well, I'm glad that something came out of your story, and you know, I think all of these recalls that are happening these days with all these vehicles, some might be tied to your story too, and we got to keep on letting our stories out, because greed will get in the way of actually making change, and I've seen that happen on every spectrum of my life when it comes to either my business or working it in the community. But I want to ask you about your faith. How did your relationship with your faith bring you through this ordeal?
I know it's totally my faith and relationship with God that has brought me where I am today, because I didn't do it on my own. And I know that when I received the first prophetic words at a conference that we had at church one time, and he, what was said was that God wasn't angry with me, that he did not cause the accident, What the enemy caused for harm, he's turning it around for his glory, and I get to reap the benefits. And I just burst into tears because I thought God caused the accident because I was backsliding for probably like 2 years. And to find out that that's not what, was the backing behind it made me feel better.
I just want to remind everybody this is a call-in show and we are live. But if you catch it on the replay, you can still call in and send your messages for Victoria, and she would love to answer your message, and we'll make sure that she gets it. Um, I think, really and truthfully, your resilience is very, very to be commended. I just want to know, like, how hard is it for you to get ready for this call? Like, what is the process of Victoria to get ready for the day now that you're wheelchair bound? Do you really need a lot of help? Like, what's your routine to get ready for this call? And maybe you can maybe help somebody that maybe just went into a wheelchair that maybe needs a little bit of information.
Well, I have to have a caregiver come and help me in the mornings to get up and ready for the day. If they don't show, then I'm kind of stuck in bed if I can't call someone else. So they come and they help me with my personal care. If it's a bath day or a hair washing day or what I call just a get up day, um, they're there to help me for a few hours in the morning. And then once they leave, they set me up with my cup, which you see on the island. And I'm usually not hungry because I ate breakfast. And, they just make sure I have everything I need for the rest of the day because I'm home by myself with the dogs. And it's pretty much the same routine every day.
What's probably one thing that you realized at the beginning that you weren't getting help with that you had to advocate to get the help that you needed?
Maybe the depth of the amount of help I needed. And I'll be the first to admit, and I tell them when I interview them, I am picky about the way my clothes are, my hair, my makeup. These are things that were important to me before. They stayed that way after because I could be having a really bad day and I look in the mirror and I'm like, gosh, you don't really look as bad as you feel or you might feel. Even in the hospitals, I have my caregivers doing my hair and everything. The doctors and nurses are kind of like, that is really cool. We don't see that very often. So it makes me feel like I'm doing something good, inspiring to them.
So you built yourself up after this accident. You went through all this trial and tribulation, right? Lord has found the answers to what was going on. And then you had a stroke. Tell us about that.
Oh, wow. That was 6 years ago. And I was getting ready and I was dressed, laying in bed, and my caregiver was bringing the chair over to the side of the bed. And I told her, I said, man, I really have a headache. She goes, where's your headache? I said, it's on the right side of my head, and I don't get headaches. So she's like, well, let me get you on the chair and see if that helps. So by the time she did the transfer to the chair, which takes just a minute really, it's a one-on-one, I had the stroke. And she realized something was wrong when I couldn't move my left hand. And it was, she saw my face. I had the facial droop and the speech impediment. And she freaked out, grabbed her phone, and ran outside to call 911. My blood pressure was 198 over 110.
So I'm sneaking a snack. How long did it take you to get away from that stroke?
I was in the hospital for 4 days, and then I went home and I did PT and OT like 3 days, 3 times a week for 4 months. And by the grace of God, I was fully recovered at the end of the 4 months. Facial droop was gone, speech impediment was gone.
What exactly was the treatments do? Like, what exactly did they do to you day to day to get you back into shape?
They did a lot of range of motion with this arm. Now, this arm kind of has atrophied some, like when I get cold and tighten up. And if it doesn't get straightened out, you can see this arm will go straighter than that one will. So they worked with this one. And then I did mouth exercises, tongue exercises, and I did those religiously even the days that they weren't here. I did them on my own because I wanted that gone.
That's a very powerful story, and I'm glad like the Lord has seasoned you for something so much bigger. I think it's something called Whiplashed. Why don't you tell
Yes.
us about that?
About the book?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's a memoir, autobiography, basically starting from the accident, a little bit of background of me before, and going into how it happened, and then Richard, and how powerful he was during that time that we were together for 3 months. And I know I couldn't have done it without him, and what a powerful force he was of support and encouragement. And then going through the rehab, 2 years of working with both rehab, and then my first job at the Justice Building, and just everything after that, up to my new discovery, the introduction my friend Diana gave me to the Lifeway patches, and those have literally changed my life.
Oh, you're on the Lifeway patches.
Lifeway,
Why don't you tell us a little bit about uh yeah, tell us a little about the patches, and then maybe you can tell us what you want my listeners to take away from this new book coming out, and why they should pre-order the book for you and make sure that they read it.
so the Lifeway patches, they use phototherapy. So inside of our bodies, we have light in each of our cells. So what it does is it makes the body do what it was meant to do from the very beginning, and that is to heal itself. Um, it regenerates stem cells, and there's different patches that do different things. I use X39 for the regenerating of my stem cells, and then I've used one, the carnosine, that has helped keep my wounds away. It healed them exponentially. Eon, that gives me better sleep, and it takes the inflammation down and decreases that pain. And those are the three that I use the most right now.
That's great. That's great. So let us hear a little bit more about this book that's coming out. And I heard a little bit about the meat and potatoes, but leave us with a mic drop why we need to pre-order this book.
Because a lot of the times people put off tomorrow what they could do today, and sometimes tomorrow doesn't come. And so to me, it's live life to the fullest with no regrets and do what you plan on doing. Don't put that off. Things can always be worse. And when you talk about excuses, if I can do what I'm doing from a chair, then what's stopping you?
Oh, that's so powerful. Because you know what? My show is all about, bosses, right? Really, we want bosses to be leaders, but some of us don't even know that we're the boss. And we need to be more advocates for ourselves. But bosses just don't bounce back, they rise higher. If Victoria can rise, what's stopping you? Let me know if you want to get a hold of Victoria and get a hold of her book. Is there any, do you have a website ready yet for the book launch, or does someone just have to send you a private message?
That I don't have yet. I just have the Lifeway website, and that's what I have so far. But
And on your LifeWave website, is there a contact number for you?
yeah, there's a way to contact me on that.
Okay, well, later on, why don't you send me that website, and then we'll include it in the description so people can have a way to get a hold of you and to pre-order that book. And I just wanted to thank you for coming on to the show. And tonight, I just want to turn awareness into understanding that Divine didn't design us to wait for sickness. She didn't wait to be in an accident, but she had to deal with it. So we're here to build and manage like a boss. Whatever path you choose, we'll be there for you. And remember, you can always call 1-855-NOW-BOSS. Thanks for tuning in.
Do you feel in tune with your body? Nearly 70% of Americans don't. They say the healthcare system isn't meeting their expectations. Why? Modern medicine often focuses on symptoms, while innovation is slowed by bureaucracy, outdated systems, and cost. Millions of people are looking for empowering solutions that align with the body, rather than override it to support a longer, more vibrant life. Powerful wellness tools are available to help, but few know they exist. They can accurately allow us to assess and understand our body. Your body is composed of trillions of vibrating cells constantly communicating via subtle frequencies, just like satellite systems, Wi-Fi, and radio waves. These communication signals are part of your natural biofield, but daily exposure to environmental stressors, technology, and emotional pressure can influence those frequencies. This interference may affect how you feel, focus, and function. Supporting your body's natural frequency patterns may help you reconnect with clarity, calm, and balance. The question is, how can you tune into those patterns and learn from them? The answer is in the palm of your hand. Meet AO Scan technology. AO Scan is an advanced wellness program that simply helps support a healthy biofield. Using proprietary algorithms and a library of frequency blueprints, the AO Scan identifies variances and delivers supportive frequencies designed to encourage balance and harmony. What can AO Scan do for you? Here are just a few unique tools inside the system. Let's start with our most popular module, Cephi. Need support with energy, focus, or restful sleep? Cephi, or Subtle Energy Frequency Imprinter, helps you broadcast or imprint subtle frequencies aligned with your personal wellness goals. Choose from thousands of frequency playlists designed to support mental clarity, emotional ease, seasonal transitions, and more. Let's move to another powerful module within the AO Scan, Inner Voice. Your voice reveals more than words. It reflects your current energetic and emotional tone. Inner Voice records a 10-second voice sample, and uses sound harmonization to create custom audio tracks that promote emotional awareness and inner calm. These tones incorporate elements like binaural beats, harmonics, and color suggestions for a multi-sensory wellness experience. Listen a few times a day to help cultivate presence, confidence, and emotional clarity. Up next, we have vitals, body systems, and comprehensive scans. These features offer a deeper look at your body's energetic patterns. Using blueprint frequencies, you can explore insights related to common themes such as energy flow, stress response, or physical resilience. Vitals gives a quick snapshot of frequency trends across multiple energetic themes. Body Systems maps frequency patterns associated with different functional systems. Comprehensive explores even more layers of vibrational data tied to organs, bones, and cells, offering expanded insight into your energetic profile. Next is Easy Scan. In just 6 minutes, Easy Scan combines 3 powerful features: inner voice, vitals, and comprehensive into one seamless experience. It delivers a unified frequency-based report that helps you explore and understand your current energetic state and how to support it through daily practices. Feeling unfocused or ungrounded? Try Quick Scan. It offers short wellness experiences throughout your day. Choose sessions like Supercharger, Relax, Grounding, or Focus. Each one is designed to support your mood and mindset. Last, but far from least, is AO MindSync. AO MindSync lets you record and customize powerful affirmations in your own voice. Combine tones, music, and emotional intent into a guided listening experience that helps reinforce your mindset and personal goals. All of these features, and many more, are designed to help you reconnect, realign, and restore balance to your biofield. As Albert Einstein said, "The future of medicine is frequency. That future is closer than you think. It's already in your hands." Welcome to Possibility. Welcome to AO Scan,